We are back on Professional Wrestling Podcast with JP Curry and the chosen lawyer, JP. Welcome back, my brother.
So happy to be back. Can you believe 2 episodes already?
Look at us. We're flying. We filmed 3 episodes of the previous docuseries together, making WrestleMania predictions. Our premiere episode, we talked about all the Backlash predictions. We got a big episode today because there's rumors of all sorts of wrestling returns, big wrestling returns, and some that have come down the pipeline. So what do you feel like talking about?
So what do you want to talk about, Jonathan? That's the key question, my friend. You know what? I think we've got some of the biggest returns. I don't know if you want to kick it off with CM Punk.
We got to. I mean, we make our itinerary, we make our agenda for the episode, right? And lo and behold, who shows up at a WWE taping in Chicago for Raw? But CM Punk. What a surprise. So,
yeah.
Is this a red herring? Is this trying to make people think all sorts of stuff where really they're just promoting the big AEW return? Or is there a chance that CM Punk is actually going to return to WWE?
Yeah, I was blown away hearing that he was in the building and actually spoke to Triple H and wanted to clear the air with Miz. So that was his whole reasoning for being there, from what I've heard. A WWE return, I think, seems a little bit far out. I mean, he is an older guy. I don't know if they need his star power right now, but I think it is setting up the hype for AEW. Hearing a lot of rumblings about his return coming soon.
I've been hearing the same stuff, and they need to sell Wembley Arena somehow. So besides signing Drew McIntyre, apparently, unless he's going to return and get that World Heavyweight Championship belt, then I call it the Triple H. Instead of Triple B, I call it the Triple H. So maybe give CM Punk the Triple H belt, but no, he's going to go to AEW. And they're going to stick him with who? The Elite and Omega and the Blackpool Combat Club. Like, what are they going to do? Some more 6-man tags, 8-man tags? Not interested.
Maybe they'll bring out an 8-man tag title next.
How do they already have in some federations? They have 6-man tag team belts. They got
AAA, right?
AAA has it. They also have an intergender tag team belts. No. We know no more belts. And if you bring CM Punk, let's have him with a feud with somebody and let's just do this properly. I can tell you when he does come back to AEW, I'm going to be glued to my screen for sure.
I feel you, man. But to me, I have very mixed feelings on it. I love AEW to the core. To see how close he was to nearly breaking it with that feud, I felt like they hit a humongous wall once that big locker room throwdown happened with the Elite and CM Punk. So I have really mixed feelings. I'm kind of worried again that he's going to be, always looking out for number one and not in the interest of the company. And it kind of scares me because while he is an amazing person to put lots of people in the venue, he's also a risk, right? So I don't know. I'm very mixed on his return. I know he will sell tickets. I too will be glued to my screen, but I can't be fully happy that he's back.
Well, Tony Khan is listening to us. I know you're watching now, Tony. It's good to see you, buddy. You need to work on those mic skills a little bit. You seem a little too eager.
Oh, he's my favorite.
Yeah, but he's so my
favorite. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's raw, man. It's so great. That's why I love it. You see how excited he is. When he came to Toronto at the show and he came out on stage, the place erupted, man. I loved seeing him out there. He's so excited. He's a real wrestling fan. I love
he's so
that.
cringy because he comes in like, and then I have a big announcement coming up next week. I'm very excited. Like I can see you reading, Tony. Like you can't memorize 5 lines. God's sakes. So, but Tony is watching. I do love you, Tony. If you want to sign us, we're happy to come join your program anytime. But seriously, he's also watching the WWE draft. So apparently, my sources are saying AEW is going to split the roster as well because they have like 3,000 wrestlers. I don't know if you looked at their website. So they're going to put
Yeah.
some on Dynamite and some on Rampage. I guess they're going to go that route. So that's how you're going to avert this disaster until CM Punk pisses off some more people. But he will be back. I'm sure of it. It's coming. And in 6-man tag team action. One big return, which I've been waiting for a while, and I kept turning on WWE, turning on AEW, waiting for the big return, was Nick Aldis, the national treasure. I was sure he was going to be all elite. He's on Impact.
Yeah.
Right. So,
I,
I understand you're going from the NWA, which is on YouTube, right? Which is okay.
yeah.
Tyrus is their champion. Whatever. It's all good. It's old school style wrestling. But Nick Aldis, man, like he knows how to talk, he knows how to dress, he knows how to wrestle. It's like he's almost parallel, like he's not gone up in the world. So why is he on Impact? What's going on there?
So I gave that some thought. He's 6'4", 240 something pounds. He, like you said, he's got the walk, he's got the talk, all the right things going for him. But I think he would have gotten drowned out a bit in WWE because had he gone to WWE, for example, I believe he's already 36 years old, which isn't too old, still younger than me, right? Not too old. But in terms of who they're going to push, I think that would be a challenge. And I think like you can even see it now with LA Knight. I love LA Knight. I'm a fan of his. But because of his age, I don't think they're rallying behind him to push him where he needs to get. And for Nick, you know what? AEW, I would have thought would have been an excellent home for him. He could have put on some great fights. And then see him ultimately end up with Impact was a letdown because it doesn't seem like you want to challenge yourself. You just picked the guaranteed win. It wasn't, I want to strive to bring out a new version of me. I just want to coast and do what I'm doing. And hey, all the power to him. If that's how he feels, great. But it had very little impact for his career.
This is where I agree with you as well. And, it's such a shame because at the end of the day, I guess I could see if he came to WWE, yeah, they'd put him up against LA Knight. And they're both great on the mic, but middle card at best. And it's a shame, Aldis is a truly special wrestler. And if you've never watched him wrestle, go back and watch some Nick Aldis tapes. Watch him with the 10 pounds of gold on NWA. Mm-hmm. He's a sight to be seen. I'm a huge fan of his. And maybe because Mickey James on Impact, maybe that's the reason. Maybe they can open the forbidden door and bring him through to AEW on occasion that way because they bring Lord knows everybody else, including Takeshita. Sorry. But another guy that I'm expecting we're going to see very soon. Well, that's what MJF called him. So look at the spelling. It's pretty funny. Cameron Grimes. I'm going to throw a name at you that we didn't have on our list, but we're going to talk about guys. That's a guy that did everything he possibly could over an NXT. And
he was over.
What's that?
He was over at NXT.
Big time.
Right? To the moon, right? So
I don't know if you've seen the footage, but he is jacked. Like he's been on the Triple H vitamin program, but he is looking real good these days. And I think he's going to make a really good impact over on WWE programming once he's a regular.
Yeah, agreed. I think so too. He was able to work his very unique character in NXT and get the crowd behind him. I wouldn't see why he wouldn't be able to do it on a bigger stage.
But the problem is that they had the whole Cameron Grimes, country bumpkin, and the whole thing. He became a millionaire, and he was feuding with $1 Million Man, and he won the belt, and they became friends. But they're dropping all the shtick. Like he's going from being that to this jack guy. And I think they're just going to make him a generic wrestler. Part of the problem is they take the gimmick of what works on NXT and then they just drop the gimmick on them as soon as they get to WWE. What are they expecting? It's no different than my boy Karrion Kross. TikTok. Like He was great. And what is he doing now? He's literally just jobbing on SmackDown every week, and they're wasting him.
Yeah, absolutely, right. And hopefully Cameron will get to keep his name both first and last, or maybe they'll just make up a whole new name for him, which irritates me to no end. I don't get it. You're in the same wheelhouse. Why are you unveiling a whole new character? Like it just looks ridiculous. And especially because you bring over those fans from AEW to WWE, right? And it means like I'd feel ridiculous if they changed Seth's name and I had NXT merch wearing it to a WWE show, right? I don't like when they do that a lot. Like Butch, but when they switched to
Pete Dunne.
forget his yeah, Pete Dunne, when they switched his name to Butch, I was like, this is awful.
But
Like
he's going, but he's
awful.
going, he is going back to Pete Dunne. The sources are saying it's gonna happen.
Oh, I hope so because
That's what's
it was awful. Pete Dunne was one of the best technical wrestlers I've seen in a while. Like he's just fun to watch. And then they just gave him like this brawling, boring personality. I'm like, the guy was awesome. Like he was doing so well on NXT. And and now you fizzled him out. So I hope he goes back to Pete Dunne.
well, that's what apparently is going to be happening, and it'll revive his career. A career that I don't know needs reviving, and I don't know if I really want to see him anymore. I don't think I do. When I hear his music playing, I don't get intimidated. I actually laugh. It's Goldberg.
Yeah.
So the word on the street is that WWE is not going to be bringing Goldberg back for his retirement party, and he's going to be all elite and coming to AEW as long as they can agree on financial terms. JP, do we need to see Goldberg back? What's your take on it?
No, 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 and no. Because the guy is dangerous. He's supposed to do power moves. He's still really strong. Like he'd still, knock me, into next week if we ever tussled. But at the end of the day, he's really not safe to work with, man. That when he picked up Taker for that jackhammer and Taker fell down just inches from the top of his head, that was scary to see, man. And I don't want any young talent getting derailed by Goldberg or having a Bret Hart situation because of Goldberg. Because that you don't need to see it. I don't know what he'd do outside of wrestling a couple minutes, hitting a couple spears and a jackhammer. That's not enough for me to want to buy a ticket to your show, specifically for Goldberg.
Why did he have to kill the Fiend's career? I still don't understand why he won. I to this day,
Yeah.
Fiend was going so strong. Why did we have to squash him by Goldberg? I don't get it. And anything Goldberg touches turns to poo poo. So let's just finish with Goldberg. I agree. Remember his streak back in the day with WCW. But I don't think we've seen the last of Goldberg because money talks and BS walks. Another guy planning to make his return very soon. We hear this every single week. He was supposed to be back for WrestleMania and the reformation of RK Bro, potentially Randy Orton, the Viper. What do you think is going on with Randy Orton? And there's rumors that he might be handed the Triple H belt.
Ooh, that'd be interesting to see. I personally can't wait for Randy Orton to get back in the ring. I missed him since he's been gone. It's for him to come back as a singles competitor, I think I'd be all right with that. But I'm sure they got to finish RK Bro somehow, right? And finish off that. Maybe spin it into the Sami Zayn. Maybe that might happen in other events, right? Because if he spins it in with the Sami Zayn KO, so if he comes in and somehow sabotages that match, that could lead into a series. Maybe that might be a fitting comeback.
I think we have to have RK Bro against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I would love that match.
I think that would happen.
But then we need RK Bro to implode, and we need to see a Riddle Orton match. That's what we've been waiting for. So, and Lord knows that's going to save Riddle's career because otherwise he's going to be heading to Dolph Ziggler land.
Oh yeah.
Next name on the list. Who do you got up?
So we got here Matt Cardona. So woo 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 woo.
You mean Zack Ryder?
No. Matt Cardona, his cousin.
You mean Ezekiel?
Yeah, yeah. He's friends with Ezekiel. That's right.
Well,
So Matt Cardona.
we have the complaint department, right? We have Chelsea Green in there.
Yeah,
So if she's there, you got to know he's not too far behind, I would guess.
you know what though? I think it would be an awful fit for him. I think he's done such a terrific job, like running the independent and being the guy in the independent, selling out, getting paid well to do it. It would be kind of a real shame to see him come back to WWE to just job again. And I think that's what they do to him. I don't think I think they'll slap on the Zack Ryder merch again and just make him good old Zack, and that's it.
If he comes back, there's only one way. It's got to be as Matt Cardona. There's no Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder is dead. They should. This is how I'm going to do it. Ready? So Matt Cardona, the vignette. You see, there's a cemetery, and you see a big figure standing over a tombstone. And on the tombstone, it says Zack Ryder. And Matt Cardona's looking and he's just smiling. And that's how you got to start doing the interest. You're like, oh, whoa, Cardona's coming back, not Zack Ryder. And he's going to beat Theory and he's going to take his belt. That's the only way. You got to make him a mid card champion. Without that, there's no point for him. I agree. Then stay independent,
Yeah.
go to AEW. But Chelsea's there. With Chelsea's there, he's like, man, I don't really want Bronson Reed talking to my wife. I should get over there. So
Forget Bronson Reed. We're talking about Otis.
Otis is busy. Otis has got his hands full already. But listen, in real life, Dolph Ziggler's not far away. He's always lurking. Do not leave anybody near Dolph. So Cardona, if you're going to Vegas right now and you're betting your money, is he going to WWE or AEW?
I'd have to put it on AEW. Way brighter future for him there. I see, the Chelsea dynamic for sure. WWE is super attractive, but I think if he wants to progress further in his career, AEW, if he just wants to get paid and be close to his spouse, WWE. Yourself?
My money's on WWE because it's just I think he's got unfinished business, bigger stage. He sees with Cody Rhodes over there and he's like, I gotta get in there. So we'll see. But either way, I'm sure he's going somewhere. Similarly, a very big debate going on all the chat lines in wrestling is what's going to happen to Edge and Christian, because people are really feeling it that those guys that have to reunite, they're not actual brothers, by the way, even though they feel like they were because they grew up together and wrestled together from locally in Toronto, Ontario, Canada area. I think they were up in Newmarket, if I'm not mistaken, or out east in Ajax or Oshawa. But anyways, they're Ontario products. And for the longest time, I thought Christian was going to be going to WWE and they're going to reunite there. But he seems to be pretty secure in AEW, whereas Edge is kind of losing his flicker. I'm actually going to put my money on them going to AEW together, the reuniting of Edge and Christian. And they can be Edge Cage and Christian Cage.
Edgier. But you know what, man? I fully agree. I think Christian has a real comfy place in AEW. He's doing well. He's bringing up younger talent. I know you're not a big fan of Luchasaurus.
I do like Luchasaurus. It's just I don't think they're doing anything with him. Like
but they're starting a program, right? They're starting a program for the TNT title. So it's something. It's something instead of being on the sidelines.
Is that 24? Is that like a 24/7 title?
No.
Sorry.
Much better, man.
Okay.
Don't call it the 24/7, man. That's like the lowest of low belts, man. So
is it the North American, United States, TNT,
Atlantic,
FTR championship? The one that what's his name? Hook has a championship. Everybody gets a championship over there.
Because they all try hard. They deserve it in this world, right? so you know what? I would love to actually see Edge come over to AEW. I think that would be terrific. If they want to sell out Wembley, imagine, because now you've got someone that we're also gonna talk about earlier Jeff Hardy recently also made his return. So potentially a TLC with Edge, Christian, the Hardys as a retirement match, right? What a way for because Jeff made it pretty clear on his return that he wants to end his career in AEW. What a way to do it at their biggest ever show.
I'd love that match as long as they all promise to please retire, because or they can become managers. I like
Yeah.
Christian as a manager. Not digging the idea of watching these guys week in, week out. I have to watch Jeff Jarrett every single week. Okay. I'm not understanding this. They got so many guys on the roster. Why are they bringing 80-year-olds out to fight? I'm not getting it. And by the way, how do you have Christian Cage and Brian Cage? Are they supposed to be related? Are they the Cage brothers? Like, what's going on there? They never fully looked into that. Is that a thing?
Nope, there's no relation. But they really like their cages and their pages. There's a few different pages and a few different cages. So you know what? The All Elite's got something going on there that I would like to see them work out. Or you know what? Maybe they do 23 and Me and end up having them related and work that into a storyline.
Well, there was rumors for the longest time that WWE was going to sign Brian Cage, that they were
Yeah.
loving Brian Cage. Him and Omos. Now there's a match. Giant jobbers galore. But apparently he's very comfortable with his Ring of Honor 6-man tag team belt, which I've never seen him defend ever. I don't even know who he's champions with, but he keeps coming out with a belt. So I've been told that's the Ring of Honor 6-man belt. So Brian Cage apparently is not heading to WWE. As far as I know, he's even signed a contract with AEW. So he is staying put. You're talking about Jeff Hardy. He's not just lost a step, he's lost 20 steps there. I saw him with his walker coming out to the ring and doing a couple of flips. You know, for a guy that keeps coming out of DUIs and rehab, like, he's functioning. I give him all the power in the world, but he's looking rough. He is looking rough. And you know what? I hope Matt is keeping an eye on him, because I'm always worried. You know, when you hear the stories of going on the road and everything else, I've never felt that Jeff has been able to get fully clean yet. So I hope this is his time, and I'm wishing him all the best on it for sure. And if he has any hope, it's going to be in AEW. I did not want to see him return to WWE. That was not going to be a good thing.
Yep, I feel you on that. I think AEW is the right home for the Hardys right now. They have a nice tag team division at AEW, which a lot of the younger guys can can put
Scissor
it.
me, JP.
Got him up right. So we I think that they would be actually an excellent fit for continuing their careers there and retiring eventually. Um, you know, I think they still have really good star power. I know I would be thrilled at Forbidden Door in Toronto if they came out. It's just I've watched them almost my whole time being a wrestling fan. They're just piece of pod, right? They go perfectly with the business. So I hope that they end up staying and having some success. I would like to see them win it one more time, personally.
Well, the final name on the list I wanted to bring up was a guy who went from WWE, Brian Danielson. He's got this identity crisis thing. And, he was yes, yes, yes. And then he was fighting MJF. He had to like battle guys every week, and MJF was paying off guys. They had the 1-hour Iron Man match that went to a draw. And now he's become a heel, and he's joined the Blackpool Combat Club. The guy from Blackpool, by the way, has gone back to WWE. None of them are from Blackpool. I don't know what makes them the Blackpool Combat Club, but they still are. But both of us can agree on this, because we talked about this off the air. He was kind of getting really tired there as a face. We are loving heel Brian Danielson. Like, he is killing it, and his line, right?
Yeah, and a big reason why he's killing it is because he's not an amateur. He is great. He's doing so well compared to all these other amateurs, right? So he's, you know what? He's tearing it up right now. I love the gimmick. I love how just nasty he's getting. I love, how deep rooted the fights feel. It's good, man. I'm really enjoying it with the Elite and Blackpool Combat Club. I'm really enjoying that storyline. I think it's going to be something really worth keeping an eye on and seeing where it goes. And it leaves a nice opportunity open for surprise acquisitions to kind of come in and jump into that feud too on both sides.
And the talk on the street is that Wheeler Yuta is going to be the fifth wheel and he's going to get the boot because he is the weakest link on that squad. So the rumors are Wheeler Yuta is going to be out. They may find yet another member in there. I think they got to change the name though. And please, no more bleeding Moxley. Like I'd like 1 week of Moxley not bleeding, please. That's all I ask for. But when Wild Thing comes out and he comes to the crowd and he drinks the water, I'm okay with it. You know what? It's okay. It's funny. It's all good.
It's fun, man. It's fun. I think they put on the one thing that I really appreciate about them is that they're passionate about the business. I still feel it. They're not there just to collect a paycheck. I feel like they want to do their darndest to entertain the fans, and they bring it every week. So I respect that a lot as a wrestling fan, especially when in other promotions when you're watching and you're like, this person's just mailing it in just to get paid. And for them to do what they're doing, and having overcome so many hardships for Daniel Bryan, or Brian Danielson, right? Having to overcome so many setbacks to get where he is, I'm so proud for him. He's just killing it.
I thought that he's finished after the MGF battle. I thought that he's just looking slow out there. It's done, and they've revived him and put him yet another faction. So good on him. I'm happy to see it as well. And as we end today's episode, we finished episode number 2. Next week, we're going to be back and we're going to be talking about factions some more and some big feuds. So I'm really excited about this one, JP. I'll see you back next week, bro.
All right, bro. We'll see you next week
on Professional Wrestling Podcast.